Happy Monday. It's Monday, so you know what that means. It's time to get into momentum. So, I'm going to share with you, of course, my thought for the week. We're going to talk about the market and what's going on in the office this week. So, my thought of the week is extraordinary outcomes are usually the results of very ordinary days repeated. So, I love that quote because it's such a great reminder that success isn't about great big bursts of intensity. It's about boring consistency. So most people don't struggle because they're not working hard enough. They're struggling because they haven't gotten into habit. And when you get into habit, it really kind of takes away that decision fatigue. You don't have to negotiate with yourself anymore. You just show up. So that's why I'm going to challenge you to shift from thinking about what do I want to accomplish, what do I want to get done, to who do I need to become? Because very small actions, or every time you take a small action, once you know who you need to become, it's a vote for that person. So, small actions, when you do them consistently, that's when you're going to get into that momentum because they start to compound. It doesn't feel like much in the moment, but when they compound, that's when we start to experience the extraordinary. So, this week, don't try to do everything. You don't need to set the world on fire. Just show up, do the ordinary, boring thing, and then do it again, and then do it again, and then do it again, because that is how extraordinary is going to show up. All right, let's talk about the market. I was watching the housing debrief by Stephen Thomas on YouTube, and I thought their conversation was super interesting, talking about pricing. So, if you look at what most people are saying is going to happen here in 2026, you've probably heard this. We're expecting that maybe interest rates go down a little bit, inventory goes up a little bit. And so, most people are expecting a similar market to what we've been in. Maybe we'll see a little bit better, but nobody's predicting that we're going to have this huge, crazy, amazing market, nor are they predicting, that we're going to, have a down market. So it's going to be fairly similar to what we've been experiencing. And if you've been paying attention, you know that skill set really matters in these kinds of markets, right? And I think the one of the most important skill sets that you can have is pricing. So let's look at the closing, the houses that closed. We're going to just do a snapshot for a great example here of November of 2025 here in Southern California. So 65% of those houses that closed in Southern California had no price reductions. And they closed, so 100% of original list to close ratio, 100%. And it only took 17 days on market for that 65% of the market that was priced right. All right, now 16% of the market was overpriced by 1 to 4%. So they closed with price reductions of 1 to 4%, 16% of them. They closed with a original list to close price of 96%, and it took 59 days. So we went from 2 weeks to 2 months by overpricing by 1.4%. Now, I want to put that into some context for you. So, what that would be like is if you had $1 million house and you overpriced it and you listed it at 1,028,000. You then had to reduce it to a million and you sold at 989. So that is $40,000 off of your list price and $10,000 off of where it should have been priced at that million to begin with. So that's pretty drastic, but it gets really drastic at those people that overpriced by 5% or more. Now, remember 16% overpriced by 1 to 4%. 19% of people overpriced by 5% or more. Now, it gets really drastic here when you overprice by 5% or more. Now you're really going to see some shifting numbers. So that would be like, again, that $1 million house, they overpriced it at $1,096,000, had to reduce to a million, ended up selling for 900,000. So that's $110,000 off of, from list to close price. but it's $100,000 off of where they should have been. So you essentially would have cost your client 100 grand by overpricing by 5%. So you can see now more than ever, it, that pricing skill, it's always important, but in these tight markets, it really, really matters. So what do we do about it? We are really lucky here in this office. We've got a pricing expert. I'm not here to sell, Dominic's product, but he's got a good product. If you want to learn how to price, go talk to Dominic about his value demand classes when he's going to be doing those again, because he really is a great expert on pricing. Some other options, you can always go to OCAR. They've got a whole pricing series of classes that you can take to become a pricing expert. So that's another option. If you're working with your mentor, if you're new in the coaching and mentoring program, make sure you're talking with your mentor about learning pricing strategies, because we really, like I said, now more than ever, your skill set matters. So hopefully that was helpful. I think it's super interesting, just the big swing in, when you overprice, what it actually means, because we hear these things all the time, but let's put it into perspective on what it actually means. All right, let's talk about what's going on this week in the office that I'm very excited about. You know what I'm going to say on Thursday? We are unveiling our big AI product, BrokerBot. It might be renamed. We might need to come up with a snazzier name, but anyway, you know what it is. It's the AI tool that's like having your broker and everything else in your pocket. So rather than just us doing some training on it, we are actually flying in the president of the company. He is going to teach you everything you need to know about using this tool. And if you haven't been listening to everything that we've been saying about this tool, it is like having Ed in your pocket. You can talk to BrokerBot at 3 a.m. We've trained it. So if you go to ChatGPT and ask it a real estate question, it's going to go wide and it's going to look at everything. BrokerBot, it has ChatGPT and it's got all the AI large language models in it. But in addition to that, we have fed it, we've trained it, we've taught it all the car forms, all the Ed's classes, everything that we could get our hands on to teach it the right ways to answer your questions. So it's going to answer your questions, but it's also can edit your photos, can write your listing descriptions, all the things that you use AI for. But it's going to do it exceptionally well because it is a real estate tool and we have invested in it for you. So 10 a.m. on Thursday, we're going to have Jeremiah here to teach you how to use BrokerBot. At 12 o'clock, we'll take a break for lunch. We'll feed you. And then we're going to continue the AI theme. And we've got our regional tech trainer in Eason is going to do a class on using AI to help your SEO, your search engine optimization. So NAR or CIR, I can't remember which, said that 90% of your consumers, before they hire you, are Googling you. Well, what's showing up? Google yourself right now and find out, because on Thursday, we're going to teach you a class on how do you change all of that so that you look like a rock star when somebody Googles you. So that's all on Thursday. It's going to be a great week. Get into momentum. And again, ask yourself, who do you need to be? And then do those small, boring things that you don't want to do because they're going to compound and add up. So hope you have a great week and see you soon.